Welcome to the Full Nilsson. Today I would like to talk to you guys about guns and children and hopefully give you guys some ideas of how you can protect your children from misusing your firearms while at the same time preserving the ability to defend your family with those firearms. Now, the easiest solution to protect your children from firearms is to lock them up. Put gun locks on them. Really, the best solution is to put them in a safe so that they don't have access to them. If you do that, there's no way that they can tamper with them and get into any mischief and misuse one of your firearms. So that's the best solution, in my opinion, to protect your children from firearms. Now, we run into a bit of a problem with defending our families with our firearms if they're all in a safe or they're all locked up. What happens if somebody kicks my door in or is climbing through my window and I need a gun? I've got to go spend 2 minutes remembering the combination to my safe in the heat of the moment to get my gun out. Well, I feel like the best solution to this problem is concealed carry. If you have the firearm on your person and keep all of the rest of your guns in your safe, at least during the daytime when you're not going to be able to have 100% supervision over those firearms. If you keep all of your firearms in your safe except for your concealed carry firearms, or the ones that you're actually carrying on your person, it makes it to where your children won't have access to any of your guns without your supervision or get into any mischief with your guns. But you will still have a firearm on you in the event that you may need it to protect your children. So for stay-at-home moms, get your concealed carry permit. Not that you have to have it when you're in your house, but wear your firearm on your person in an inside the waistband holster, an ankle holster, something. Always have your firearm on you. So that way if somebody were to break into your home, you have a way to defend your children. But on top of that, you can make sure that your children don't gain access to that firearm without you knowing about it because you have it on you. It's not in a drawer, it's not on a shelf somewhere or hanging on the wall, it's on you. So you will have 100% supervision of that firearm. Same thing goes for dads. From dawn until dusk, put your firearm on in the morning. When you go to work, when you come home, keep your firearm on you until it's time to go to bed, then take it off, set it on your dresser or something like that. When you get up in the morning, put it right back on again. That way your children never have unfettered access to any of your firearms and you still have the ability to protect your family. Now, if you were worried that somebody might break into your house in the evening and you wanted a more substantial weapon instead of just your concealed carry firearm, when you get home, you could pull your shotgun or your rifle or something like that out of your safe, put it in the corner of your bedroom, go to bed, wake up in the morning, put the gun away. Your wife still has her concealed carry firearm on her and all of the other weapons are put away. Now, there are other solutions. You can get safes that are like quick access safes, or you could get some of the false mirrors and stuff like that that your kids wouldn't necessarily know about, or come up with some sort of a child-proof thing that an adult could easily open and put a larger firearm in there. All of those are solutions as well. But for me, the easiest solution is just keep your concealed carry firearm on you at all times, even when you're home for the day, and keep the rest of your guns in a safe. So I feel like that's a pretty good approach. There are other solutions that will work as well, but I feel like that's a pretty good solution. Now, there's one other thing I want to talk to you about, and this also is a really good solution, which is education and educating your children about firearms and gun safety. Teach your children how to use those firearms when they're at an appropriate age. You're going to have to determine how mature your children are and when they're ready to use a firearm or not. And then you can determine whether or not you think it's safe to leave a firearm outside of the safe with your children at home. Now, if you've got a little kid who's 4 or 5 years old and you think that telling them, hey, guns are dangerous, don't misuse a gun, is going to be enough education for them to never pick up or never misuse a gun, and you're free to leave your guns lying around the house at that point, that's a bad approach in my opinion. Now, when the children get older to where you can tell they're mature enough, they understand how serious a firearm really is, and how devastating it can be, and what it's capable of. When they reach a more mature age, and then you feel like, you know what, I know this, my son well enough or my daughter well enough, I feel like they're mature enough at this point that I could leave this firearm around the house loaded to where if they needed to use it in an emergency, I've trained them and taught them how, and they're mature enough not to misuse it. You'll have to decide that. And I don't think that's a bad approach. I would definitely do that with my children. Growing up for me, my father always kept all the firearms in the safe until my brother and I, we were the two youngest. I'm from a family of 5 boys and 1 girl. But my brother, myself, and my younger brother liked to go hunting and stuff like that all the time. And my dad got us shotguns for Christmas one year and 22s for Christmas, and he taught us how to use all that. I couldn't tell you exactly what age it was, but I'm pretty sure it was 12 or 13 at least, and probably older than that, but it was around that age. He decided, okay, they're mature enough. He didn't just grant us unfettered access to all of his firearms, but he said, you know what, if you guys want to hang your 22 on your rifle rack in your room so that you can go hunting with your buddies, you can do that. I'll let you keep that gun out. Or I'll let you keep your shotgun out if you're going to, go pheasant hunting or something like that. And he didn't do that until he had taught us all the gun safety stuff. We had been through hunter safety. He had trained us to a certain extent with the firearms to where he felt like we were mature enough that that was a safe thing to do. If somebody had broken into our house and we needed to use one of those, we probably would have been able to do that in that type of situation. So I think that's a good approach for children as well. Now there's one other aspect I want to touch on when it comes to gun education and leaving a firearm out, or deciding whether or not it's safe to leave a firearm out that your children would have access to. And that is if your children have a mental disorder or problems with depression. And this is something that we see a lot of stories about in the news today. There are kids who have severe depression issues and are on antidepressant medication, or kids that are bullied really bad at school and it's taking a toll on them, and parents allowing them unfettered access, either knowing or not knowing what their children are going through, and those children take those firearms and go shoot other children and misuse them or shoot other people. And it's really tragic when we see things like this happen. And in my opinion, these events, people blame the kids. They say, well, the kid was a psychopath, he was a nut job, he was this and that. I don't doubt there are situations in which some of those kids are pretty sick and they have pretty severe mental problems and stuff like that, but I feel like the majority of the blame lies with the parents, not with the children. Those children need help. They need counseling, they may need medication, they may need a variety of things. They need their parents to protect them from themselves by not allowing them access to firearms. They need to be aware of what's going on in their social media, and they need to be aware of whether or not those children are being bullied all the time and take the appropriate measures to protect their children so that these types of tragedies don't happen. So if you have a child who you know has depression problems or has a mental disorder or something like that, but they like firearms, you like firearms, you want to get them into shooting sports, you want to get them into hunting and hunting and stuff like that, I'm not saying don't ever let them shoot a firearm, but don't allow them complete access to firearms 24/7. Allow them to use firearms under your supervision. When you go out hunting, you can go out and shoot alongside them, or go out and hunt together, go target shooting, things like that. That way they're supervised. You're not allowing them to, or not allowing their particular struggles of depression or mental disorder or something like that to get the better of them when you're not around to supervise them, to the point of where they go out and take one of your firearms and misuse it and hurt other people. So that's something that I think needs to be addressed when it comes to firearms and children. Guns are pretty serious instruments. They have the ability to take lives of people in a split second. And we need to do a better job at using them responsibly and be vigilant in educating our children and those around us about gun safety. So that's all I have for you guys today. Stay safe. I hope you guys found some of these ideas useful in being able to protect your children while still being able to do an adequate job of protecting your family. If you guys have any questions or comments, please leave those in the comment section. Thanks for watching. Have a nice day.